What's good, YouTube? I ain't made a video in like 2-3 weeks, maybe longer than that. I gotta get back to it. But today's topic is gonna be coming out of Genesis 22. So if y'all wanna, stay tuned for what I'm talking about, then stick with this video. Oh, first off, in Genesis 22 is talking about, it's kind of like the story, where Abraham goes to sacrifice his son, Isaac, obviously, right? But it's kind of like a parable in a way. And Isaac is a son, yeah, but it could be a representation of, other life things. And so, pretty much, God was like, hey, yo, Abraham, like, do you love me for real? And it was a test. And, Abraham's like, yeah, I love you, Lord. Like, what you mean? So, God was like, all right, I'm going to need you to take your only son, who you love, and go sacrifice him. And you don't even question it. At least the Bible don't say that, right? And I'm pretty sure in real life, in real time, he probably debated that in his mind, like, oh, should I really go do this? Not should I go do this, but he probably did in his mind. But like, it don't say like he said it, out loud. But ain't no telling what emotions he was going through at that time, while that was going on. But anyways, so he was like, alright, so let's gather all the men together so we can go down to the spot and go to the mountain where the Lord directed us. So all the people, they go down, we'll load everything up and, get going to where, the Lord told them to go sacrifice. So they go down and they get to the spot, and Abraham is like, alright, y'all, we at the spot. Me and my son Isaac about to go over here and handle this business real quick. We about to go worship, and then we're gonna slide back down and meet up with y'all again. And first time I read that, or maybe in the second time, I was like, the faith that he had. He was like, because literally God just told him, you gonna go and kill your son, your only son, the promised son. And in our life, right, it could be the promise of the Lord for us. He could promise you something. He could promise me something. And it's up for you to stick to his word, whatever he promised, right? He didn't, what's the word called? He didn't contradict himself when he said kill your son after he already promised him that he was going to bless them. He already promised. The sands of the seashore, as y'all can see behind me, the stars in the sky. That's how grand and big your descendants is gonna be. So he already made him the promise, but it was up to Abraham to, stick to the promise and to rely on God for the promise. And so that was just crazy to me on how I read that. And it's like, we're gonna worship and we're gonna come back down, so just be waiting on us type thing. And I'm like, dang, like, that's tough. So they ended up going up there, right? They're preparing the sacrifice, and eventually Isaac gets on, and Isaac is like, yo, like, Dad, like, what's the deal? Like, we got the wood, got rocks to make the fire or whatever, spark the fire, but where's the sacrifice? And Abraham was like, the Lord gonna provide the sacrifice. I'm like, dang, that's freaking tough. So like, bro, he literally didn't have to do that. He said, the Lord's gonna provide the sacrifice. So that goes to us. Like, we gotta, let the Lord do what he wanna do. Just being obedient and hearing his voice, though. That's what it comes down to. So they go up, everything's ready. Abraham tie him up. And, he got the knife, like, he ready to go with it. He's like, shh, right in the moment. And then the angel appears like, Abraham, don't do it. And God say, and it's not like he don't know, because he's God, obviously. But God say, now that I know you love me. Then he let him keep the son. So, and that, let's put that into a real life scenario, right? So, a lot of people, they have a hard time with like attachment to things and people and all that, right? And it's in the letting go that God can give it back to you. Either the same thing, or like the same person, or an upgrade, right? Preferably upgrade. But yeah, like, it's in the letting go that God can give it to you back, or give it back to you, I should say. And that was kind of like what stood out to me from that story, and hopefully it makes sense to y'all too. But yeah, like, it's gonna be stuff in your life where you gotta let it go and give it to God, and in doing so, He'll give it back to you. Because when you let something go, you give, or you put your trust in Him for Him to do what only He can do, and in turn He gives it back to you, because now He sees that the value of Him is over the problem, the situation, the item, whatever it is that you so badly want to hold on to. And if y'all watch any of my previous videos, or things like 2 of them maybe, you know, I talk about other things that I've had to let go, you know, personally in my own life. And once you let it go, He gives it back, and He gives it back tenfold. So pretty much in this video, I just want to talk about, like, the importance of letting go. And I want to give you guys a description of, you know, what that looks like from a biblical perspective, of not holding on to something, right? Even in the Bible, Jesus said, if you hold on to your life, you're gonna lose it anyway, but if you give it to me, you're gonna find it. So it's literally the same thing. If you lose it or you give it to me, I can give it back to you. But if you withhold it and you know, stay trying to grab it, obviously it's not gonna work out for you. And the longer you hold it, the worse it gets. But as soon as you let it go, that's when freedom happens, right? Another illustration is, like, I ain't no big anime fan, I ain't gonna lie, but I did watch the Avatar show, and it came to a certain scene where it was a bunch of, you know, ponds and circles, and pretty much like a flow of water, right? It's a bunch of ponds, right? And so they were trying to unlock him spiritually, but the thing is, some parts of the pond have been, you know, clogged up by stuff that shouldn't have been there, obviously, right? And so it was kind of like a illustration of our souls or whatnot, or in our life. And it's like, this stuff needs to go, and it needs to be worked on so that the Lord can take it out, and so everything can flow the way it should. And so they took the stuff out, and then the water, boom, started to just flow as, you know, everything should be. And that's what he did. He let go of all his fears, all his traumas, all of anything that was holding him back, because any attachment holds you back. Let everything go and give it to God, right? Because honestly, the ultimate form of worship is trust, because it's like you trusting your life in His hands. So it's like, that's like, I don't know, in a way that's like the highest form of worship, you know, that I think. So yeah, just put your life, put yourself in His hands, and let Him do what He do. And just know that whatever you give up for His sake, He'll give it back to you. That's even in the Bible. Says working hard and doing good is not in vain, because obviously you'll get rewards here, but you'll also get rewards in heaven, and all the stuff that you've done here will be remembered. So yeah, you get repaid here and there, so that's cool. So if y'all got some value out of this video, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and shoot, let me know what other topics or whatever else y'all want to talk about. Like, just let me know in the comments. Shoot, I'm willing to talk about anything from a biblical perspective. So hey man,